Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to work on our fire text. So the first thing we're going to need to do is open up Photoshop. So we're going to go to the Finder down here. We're going to click that, and then we're going to go to Applications. We are going to click that, and then we are going to find Photoshop. So it could look like this, or it could look like that. I think most of yours look like the icons. You're looking for Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop 24, not the beta, the 24. You're going to double click that. Then you're going to click Photoshop again. Oops, sorry. Double click. And then that's going to open up Photoshop for you. Perfect. The next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to open a new file. And we're going to go over here and make some changes. First, you're going to change the title to your last name, minus Stow, and then fire text. You're going to change this to pixels if it's not already there, from inches to pixels. The width is 1600. Then we're going to change the height to 1000. We're going to leave the resolution at 72 pixels per inch. The color is going to stay RGB, and the background content is going to be white. If you have to select one of these, please select white. Everything else can stay the same, and then we're going to hit create. So everybody should have this document. Well, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here, we're going to go to edit. And then we're going to go to fill. Again, that's edit, and then to fill. And then when you get fill, you get this little document here. You're going to select the drop-down menu, and you're going to select black because we want the background to be black, and then we're going to hit OK. So now your white should have turned black. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some text. So we're going to go here to the T for text. You can also just hit the T button, and you're just going to click in here, and it's going to give you this text box. So up here are all the options for changing your text. We're going to make some changes. First, we're going to change this to Times Roman. So you can just type in this box, times. We want bold. So that changes this to bold. We want it at 72 points. So you can change that to 72, and then we're going to want this to be white. So in order to get white, we're going to come all the way up here. The furthest it'll let us go in the corner, and hit OK. Or we could probably just do that. There's a little box there. You can just click that. And then hit OK. So now our text should be white, and we're going to type in the word fire. And then you're going to hit this checkbox right here to kind of make it stay the way it is. Next thing we need to do, I want to fill this whole area with the word fire. So we're going to use free transform. The way to find it is edit, free transform, or you can hit the command key and T. But we're going to go to edit, free transform, and then we can drag this. We want to fill that space with the word fire. You can move it around. It's probably pretty good. And then when you're done, you can hit done, or you could hit that checkbox right there. Once you've filled that up, next thing we're going to do is we're going to two-finger click or right click, depending on what the situation is. And we're going to get this drop-down menu. We're going to hit rasterize text. So we're going to click that, rasterize text. And then we are going to go and we are going to duplicate this layer. So we're going over here to my layer area. We're going to two-finger click or right click, or you can use this drop down here. There's these three little lines. Let me get up there. There's these three little lines right here. You can click those and you can duplicate layer. And we're going to call this fire copy. So now you have an extra copy of that. So we're going to turn that off. The way to do that is there's this eyeball here. We can click that and it turns it on and off. It doesn't really matter right now, but it will later. So now we have to select the original layer, which is right here. So we're gonna select that. We were selected on here, but we need the fire to be selected, not the fire copy. Now we're gonna rotate this. So we're gonna go up here to image. We're gonna go to image rotate, and we're gonna rotate this 90 degrees clockwise. So it turned it all just to the 90 degrees clockwise. Now we're gonna apply what's called a filter. So we're going up to the top here where it says filter. And we're gonna go down and we are going to find stylize. And then we're going to find wind. When you get wind, we're gonna make some changes here. So we're gonna select wind and we're gonna select from the left. So we want the wind to come from the left and we are going to hit OK. And if you can see there, we got just a little bit of like lines coming off the top of our letters. That's not quite enough for us. So we're gonna go back to filter and this top one says wind again and we're gonna re-click that one more time and then a second time. So those lines are really, really stretched now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it a third time. So it's really, really stretched. We're gonna rotate it back. So if you guys remembered how to rotate, we're gonna go to image, and then we're gonna go back to image rotate, but now we have to go the opposite way. So we're gonna go 90 degrees counterclockwise. So there's 90 degrees counterclockwise. So now we have this lines coming up from our fire, which were like super, super cool. Now we're gonna add another like blurring filter on here. So we're gonna go up to filters again, and then we are going to go to blur, and then we're going to go to Gaussian blur, and then we are going to say 5 pixels down here, and then we're going to hit OK. And this is going to kind of blur it a little more. It blurred the letters too, but that's okay. That's what we have our copy for. So don't worry about that. Next thing we need to do is we need to go down here back to our layers. And we're gonna copy this background layer. So we're gonna 2-finger click or right click on the background layer, and we're going to duplicate layer. This is gonna give us a background copy. Leave that so we know where we're at. So now we have in our layers are looking like this. We have a fire copy, a fire, a background copy, and a background. So we are going to merge the text layer and the background copy layers together. We're gonna make them one. So let's get here. So I'm going to hold my shift button and I'm gonna select the fire layer and the background copy layer. So I wanna make sure that they're both a little lighter gray. Then I'm going to 2-finger click, or we can go up here and we can hit merge layers right there. And then they merge them both into one layer. So now we only have 3 layers. We have a fire copy layer, a fire layer, and a background layer. All right, so we're gonna change this name of the fire layer. We're gonna double click that. Oops, I don't know what I did. Control Z. Okay. So I'm going to double click the word fire and I'm going to turn that to flame, or flames with an S. I got 2 S's now. That way we know which layers we're working on. We're going to change some of these flames. We're going to do some adjusting. We're going to go to filters again. And then this time we're going to go to liquify. And what happens with liquify, you're going to make sure that you have this option, which is the forward wrap tool. You're going to get a brush size. So we're going to go over here to brush size of about 100. You can change this. Density of 50 right here. And then we can go in here and we can move these flames around to make them look more flame-like. So however you choose to do that, you're welcome to just play with this however you want. There's no wrong way to do this. So just work in here and see if you can stretch some of these flames out and make them look crazy or however you want them to look. So I'm just gonna do a little, you can adjust some of these options too if you wanna make some changes and make them do different things. You're welcome to do that too. All right, so once you got that, we're going to hit OK down here in the bottom right-hand corner, when you have your flames the way that you would like them. And that is the result of the Liquify tool. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give some color to the flames. So make sure that this is connected or selected. And then we're gonna go up here to image adjustment or adjustments, and then go to hue and saturation. This is another area you can play around with. There's only one thing I need you to do, and that is to select colorize. Without that, it won't change it at all. I am going to put my hue at 40 and my saturation at 100, but you can do whatever you would like. So if you want this more on the reds or whatever areas you would like, you can even do green. I don't really care. So you pick whatever color works best for you, but just make sure that the colorize is selected. That is super important. So we're gonna hit OK once you have the right color. And then we're gonna duplicate this layer and we're gonna do it again. So we're gonna duplicate this layer that's like going to this three lines here, and do duplicate layer, and then flames copy is okay. And then we're gonna go back up here to adjustment layers and then go to hue and saturation again. And this time I'm gonna do like -40 here for my hue and change it up. Now it's like a red. And then hit OK, colorize. No, just hit OK, just leave it there. No colorize, sorry. And now we have this red too. So we're gonna learn another thing today. It's called blending modes. It's right here by the levels on the bottom right-hand corner. It's currently under normal, but we're gonna change that to color dodge. And each one of these do something a little different. If you don't like color dodge, pick one you do like. But I'm gonna pick color dodge today. And then I'm going to like put these two layers together. So I'm gonna hold my shift key and select layers flames and flame copy. And then I'm going to merge these two together. I'm going to go up here to these lines and I am going to hit merge layers. So there's my flames. And then if I go back here to this other layer and I turn that eyeball on, it will adjust my letters, and my letters are clearer and my flames are kind of coming out of my letters. This one kind of got a little out of control. We can turn that off and we can probably paint some stuff in there if we wanted, but we're not really worried about that today. So there are my flames coming off my letters. So you're all done at this point. So if you want to, you can hit File and go Save as a Copy, or let's try Save As. And then we want this to be, yeah, we have to do Save as a Copy. So we're gonna go File, Save as a Copy, and then we're gonna go to here to Format, because I need this as a JPEG in order to see it. So I'm gonna hit JPEG. It still says style-text, and I'm gonna hit save. It's gonna save on my desktop right now. let's just save there for today, and then we'll talk about where to save next time. And then this is okay. Quality 8 is okay. And then Photoshop's really cool. So now that compressed all these layers together, we want to save the layers also. So we're going to go to File, and we're just going to go Save. And this is going to save a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file, on our desktop also. And what that does is it leaves these files here, or all these layers here. So one day if your client comes back and they're like, yeah, I really don't like that space above the E, can you adjust it? You have all the layers here in order to be able to adjust it. This is okay. Perfect. So now if you want to get really tricky, or if you're ahead of the game, we have an extra option. So what that extra option does is with the Fire copy layer, you're going to go to Layers, Layer Styles, right here. And then we're going to go to Color Overlay. And with Color Overlay, I'm going to just use black here, but you can use any color you want. And we're going to use black, and then we're going to hit OK. And then that turned that whole layer black, which is kind of cool all in itself. But we can erase some of this so it looks like the whole letter is kind of on fire or burning away. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to our eraser. You can hit E on your keyboard, or you can use the eraser. We got that. We're going to make some changes up here to the options that we can have here. So we're going to go here into our brush. We're going to hit 120. So if it's not already there, just type in 120. The hardness is going to be 40%. Then we're going to come here and we're going to do opacity is going to be 40 also. We're going to leave the flow at 100, and everything else is going to stay the way that is. Now, because this layer is touched right here, we're only making adjustments to this layer. So I'm going to go to the top of this, and I'm going to kind of paint or erase a little bit of the top so I can get this effect. How far you go down is up to you. Let's Control Z. If you do Control Z, you can go backwards a couple steps. I didn't really like how that R turned out. I'm not sure what is there, so I'm just gonna go around it. If you want to make some adjustments in the opacity up here, you can kind of make it a little smoother transition. The more you touch it, the darker it's going to get, just like there. So you can play around with that if you'd like. Once you were done with that, you were all set. You have your cool letters. You can run another line here if you want, just to make it a little brighter. Like it's really burning. So there you go. So if you did this one, you want to save again. Start with save, and you're saving. It saves it automatically for you. And then if this is the one you're going to turn in, you're going to save a copy, and you're going to go here. You're going to make sure you select JPEG, because that's what Schoology can see. And then you're going to save it. So this saved all of this. You can turn that into the JPEG into Schoology, and I will give you a grade. I hope you guys have a great day, and please let me know if you have any questions.